Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very glad and pleased to have the association of His Grace Sundar Shyam Prabhu, who will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 5, chapter number 26, sloka number 3 to 5. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuram militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtanam Yantastohi Avathani Vidano Sugarat Satam Ite Cham Sakala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyari Vyakulam Lokam Hridayante Yuge Yuge Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Okay, so let me share. Okay, so let's read the sloka first. Okay, so we're going to read from so today the service given is to read from sloka from Canto 5, Chapter 25, text 3 to 5. So we'll read from 3 to 5. Here is the sloka. Is my screen visible to all of you? Very well?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Text 3. Yashahava idam kaleno pasjigrisato amarsha virachitaruchira brahmadbruvor antarena shankarshano.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes?
Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt, Prabhuji. The chapter 26, Prabhuji, if I am right.
No, Prabhu, 25 was what was given to me.
25 is finished.
We are now in 26th chapter, Prabhuji.
Yeah, but I am being given the service to speak on 25, not on 26.
Prabhuji, kindly carry on, Prabhuji. What do you think? There is a miscommunication from my side now.
Yeah, so I have mail message from Prabhuji. He says verse would be 5.25 to 3 and 5.
Fine, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, so you can hear Srimad Bhagavatam any number of times. Still, it is glorious. So every time we hear, we understand details more and more. Okay. So whatever my situation, let's continue to read 25. Is it okay with you? Okay. Hare Krishna. So we'll proceed.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji,
please
please,
proceed.
Prabhu.
Yeah. Namarudra Ekadasa Vyuhas Tri Akshas Tri Sikam Sulam Uttambayan Udatistat. Translation. At the time of devastation, when Lord Anantadev desires to destroy the entire creation, he becomes slightly angry. And then from between his two eyebrows appears three-eyed Rudra carrying a trident. So this Rudra, who is known as Shankarshana, is the embodiment of the 11 Rudras, or incarnation of Lord Shiva. He appears in order to devastate the entire creation. Okay, but so in each creation, the living entities are given a chance to close their business as conditioned souls. When they misuse this opportunity, they do not go back home, back to Godhead. Lord Shankarshana becomes angry. The 11 Rudras expansion Lord Shiva come out of Shankarana's eyebrows. Due to his angry mood, all of them are devastated. Okay. So let's look at text 4. Yashangri Kamala Yugalarona Vishadanakamani Sanda Mandaleshwa Ahipataya Saha Sat Vatarshabe Ekanta Bhakti Yogena Vanamantaha Swavadanani Parishpurat Kundala Prabha Mandita Gandha Stalani Ati Manoharani Pramudita Manasa Kalau Vilokayanti. So here it tells about the beauty of Lord Shesha. The pink, the transparent toenails on the Lord's lotus feet are like valuable gems, polished to a mirror finish. When the unalloyed devotees and the leaders of the snakes offer their obeisances to Lord Shankarshana with great devotion, they become very joyful upon seeing their own beautiful faces reflected on his toenails. The cheeks are decorated with glittering earrings, and the beauty of the face are extremely pleasing to see. Okay, so this tells the beauty of Lord Shesha. We'll go to the next look also, translation. Lord Ananta's arms are attractively long, beautifully decorated with bangles, completely spiritual. They are white and so they appear like silver columns. And the beautiful princess of the serpent kings, hoping for the Lord's auspicious blessing, smear his arms with aguru pulp, sandalwood pulp, and kunkuma. The touch of his limbs awakens lusty desire within. Understanding their minds, the Lord took at the princess with a merciful smile. And they become bashful. Realizing that he knows their desires, they then smile beautifully, look upon Lord's lotus face, which is beautified by reddish eyes rolling slightly from intoxication and delighted by love for his devotees. When male and female touch each other's body, their lusty desire naturally awakens. It appears from this verse that there are similar sensations in the spiritual bodies. Both Lord Ananta and the women giving him pleasure had spiritual bodies. Thus, all sensations originally exist in spiritual body. This is confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadi Yasya Yataha. Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakura has commented on this connection that the word Adi means Adi Rasa, the original lusty feeling which is born from the Supreme. However, spiritual lust and material lust are as completely different as gold and iron. Only one who is very highly elevated in spiritual realization can understand the lusty feelings exchanged between Radha and Krishna or between Krishna and the damsels of Raja. Therefore, unless one is very experienced and advanced in spiritual realization, he is forbidden to discuss the lusty feelings of Krishna and the gopis. However, if one is a sincere pure devotee, The material lust in his heart is completely vanquished as he discusses the lusty feelings between Gopi and Krishna, and he makes quick progress in spiritual life. Okay. So even though beauty of the Lord is being described here, the beauty of the Lord are described in relation to devotion. When devotion increases in our heart, we see the truth. Because it is Lord Lord in the form of Paramatma in our heart, reveals the truth of our identity, the truth of our relationship with the Supreme Lord, and the true ego manifest in our heart as servant of Krishna. That is the specialty of devotion. The greater in-depth in devotion that we practice, the sincere and enthusiasm in our devotion leads to good qualities, and then it converts into divine qualities in our hearts. So, for example, if you see these attributes of love between Krishna and Radha, and Krishna and the damsels, when there is devotion in your heart, you get attracted to those pastimes of the Lord. When there is no devotion in the heart, you look them as perverted, lusty feelings. So, all these things come around about Lord Ananta's message to all the living entities. Okay. So what we'll do is I've prepared a presentation where we can try and understand who's Ananta and who's Sesha. So what is the real position of each of them? We'll try to understand that and some pastimes connected to that. Okay. So if we take chapter 25, so the breakdown is something like this. The first three slokas, we will understand what is the abode of Ananta, who's Lord Ananta, is Lord Sesha and Ananta same in the current context of this chapter. What are his activities? What does he do? Okay. Then, of course, 4th and 5th sloka, we talked about the beauty of Lord Ananta. The beauty of Lord Ananta is to demonstrate devotion. For example, he's called Sankarshana. Sankarshana means someone who draws towards. So, for example, if you see Balaramji, he's carrying a plow. So, the plow, what do you do? He draws things towards him, right? Now, Prabhupada writes in the purports that Sankarshana, he gets the name because he was transferred in the womb from the fetus of Devaki, was transferred to the fetus of Rohini, which is something impossible to do, but that was done. And hence he gets the name Sankarshana. So Sankarshana gets multiple names, right? So Sankarshana is expansion of Balramji, and he is also Lord Ananta. So let's see what is it. Then sloka 6 to 15 talks about causeless mercy of Lord Ananta on the conditioned souls. So what is the duty of the conditioned souls and what are they supposed to do? And how does Ananta gives this causeless mercy on each of us? Okay. So in order to explain this, I'm trying to go into some detail about the structure of Jambudvipa or Bhumandala. And then we will try to understand this a little bit. So I'll see if I can do full screen. Yeah. Is it better, the visibility?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So now you see, this is the structure of Bhumandala. So what is Bhumandala? So Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is sleeping in the casual ocean on the bed of Lord Anantadev. Okay, Anantadev is the one that has got infinite hoods, and he is serving Lord Krishna or Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So from that Garbhodakshaya Vishnu comes this beautiful lotus from his navel, and the creation of Brahmaji happens. And after creation, Brahmaji is being taught about Visarga, the secondary creation. and he creates this material universes, right? So I'm not going to go into the detail. So in this material creation, he is now talking about three parts: the upper planetary system, the middle planetary system, and the lower planetary system. Here, if you look at it, the center is Mount Meru, the yellow ones. And below this Mount Meru, so this Mount Meru represents the Jambudvipa island. Okay. Now, in that 14 planetary system, the upper planetary systems are Mahar, Tapa, Mahar, Jana, Tapa, and Satyaloka. And of course, the Swargaloka and the Bhuvarloka also come into the upper planetary systems. Then the Martyaloka, which is called as the Bhuloka, comes under the central planetary system, and below that comes under the Patal Lokas, right, the lower planetary system. So if you take the structure of the Bhumandala, so Bhumandala is nothing but, if you see a lotus plant or a lotus flower, you will see the lotus flower, below that is the stem. When the stem lands near the water, you will see a green color leaf, a big leaf around it. So that's the representation. That's how the structure looks like. And that leaf is the Bhumandala. Okay, so in the previous classes, we have talked about different varshas. The Bhumandala is been broken down into. So now you can see the lower planetary system, which is also part of the Bhumandala here. That is Attala, Vitala, Suttala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, right? So these are the lower planetary systems. And below that are the hellish planets, which are about 28 planets in divisions. Now, if you look at this entire Bhumandala, that is the whole thing that here, the brown one, is resting on the hood of Ananta. Actually, this Ananta is not called Ananta. He is expansion of Ananta, who's called Shesha. So this Shesha actually rests on Matsyavatara, right, the tortoise. And below that, way below that is, in the Garbha ocean, is what Garbhodaksha Vishnu is lying down on Lord Ananta. So even though it has been represented, our books on Vedic cosmologies and all those things, they clearly differentiate between this Shesha is different from Lord Ananta, who's sleeping here, way below the Garbha ocean. Okay. So now if you look at it, here its words are interchanged. Why? Because this Ananta is also called Shesha. So he resides 2,40,000 yojanas below Patala. That means this is Pataloka. So that means the distance between this and this is 2,40,000 miles. Okay. So here is the hood. Now, this great Bhumandala appears just like a white mustard seed on one of the 1,000 hoods of Ananta. Right? So, the mustard seed is a small white. That's what it looks like from a distance. That means you can imagine the size of Ananta. When Lord Ananta desires to destroy the creation from the eyebrows between the three-eyed angry Rudra, with 11 expansion carrying the trident, manifest, and all the lokas from these hellish planets, this lower planetary system, the middle planetary system, up to Maharloka, they get burnt because of the heat. We'll see all those things detail as we move into subsequent slides. Okay, now I'm trying to give this breakdown into more detail. You can see this 10,000 plus 500 are all yojanas, right? So these numbers tell what is the size of Mount Meru, and this brown is what is the height of the entire Bhumandala. Okay, Blue Mandala is what, as we understood as a representation, is the lotus flower, the stem, and the leaf below. That leaf portion is what we're talking about. Okay. And the 7 lower planetary systems, you can see these are the dimensions, 10,000 plus 500. 500 is representing the gap. 500 yojanas is the gap between 1 and 2, between 2 and 3, and 3 and 4, like that. And then after the Patala Loka, you can see there is this hellish region, which is called Yamaloka. And this hellish region is about 11,000 yojanas in dimension. This 11,000 yojanas consists of 28 divisions, 28 planetaries, where a living entity who is sinful in nature after his death is taken to the hellish planet. And according to his karmic reactions, he is awarded suitable punishment. Now, below this is the structure of the Bhumandala, and Bhumandala is on the head of Anantasesha, right? So this is what we are going. Now this chapter that we're talking about, 25th chapter sloka, is referring to this Anantasesha. Who is he? How did he manifest? What are his pastimes? That's what we're going to talk about. Okay. So I've just got another slide. This slide tells about the description and the look of all the Patala Lokas. So Patala Lokas do not have sun that is penetrating them because they way inside the structure of Bhumandala, the dark regions. So they're all illuminated, right? See how they're illuminated. They're very opulent, but they're illuminated, right? So this talks about Patala. Now, so we'll talk about the story of Sesha. So now we are going to focus here. So this is, look at my cursor, this is the focus now. Who is this Ananta? Is he Anantadev or is he Shesha? What is the difference? That's what we want to understand. Okay. So I'll talk about story of Shesha. Shesha is the son of Kashyapa Muni and his wife Kadru. Kashyapa Muni had two wives. One is Kadru, another is Vinata. The first wife is Kadru, the second wife is Vinata, but however, Kadru and Vinata are sisters. So Shesha is the first son of Kadru. Now, Shesha is the eldest son of the sage Kashyap Muni and Kadru, and Kadru is the mother of all the serpents. Okay. So there were two wives that we talked about, Kadru and her sister Vinata. Now, Kadru and Vinata, both of them, they took up austerities to please their husbands, Kashyap. After pleasing their husbands, they both had a request for certain boons. So Kadru asked for a boon that she should be able to lay 1,000 eggs. And all the snakes must be very, very powerful. Right? So that's the boon she has. That means she wants 1,000 children and very powerful. And Vinata, she's a sister. Generally, the sisters have competing mentality. And Vinata, as a sister, she asked that, I don't want all these 1,000, just I want 2 sons. But these 2 sons must be more powerful than all the 1,000 children of Kadru combined together. So that's the boon she asked. When both of them, they served their husbands nicely, Kashyap Muni said, Tatastu. And both their boons were granted. So Kadru laid 1,000 eggs. And after 500 years, okay, the Nagas were born. Out of this 1,000 Nagas that were born, the eldest Naga is Shesha. Okay. So other Nagas, that one is Takshaka, which came to kill Parikshit Maharaj. Takshaka pastimes also goes back in Indraprastha, when Krishna and Arjuna went to burn that forest to build the Indraprastha palace. So that it was a Nagaloka there in that forest, and Takshaka was the head of that Nagaloka, and he was residing there. So it is the same Takshaka. So Vasuki, we know Vasuki is the snake that was used in the pastime of Samudra Manthan. So that is the snake. So these are all children of Kadru, right? And they all reside in Patal Lokas. However, Vinata, on the other hand, had 2 sons. So the eldest son is Aruna, the charioteer of the sun god, right? We sing that song now, Udilo Aruna, that same Aruna. Then the younger son is Garuda. Which is this Garuda? Garuda is the great carrier, Vahana of Lord Vishnu, right? So these are the 2 sons of Vinata. Okay. Now, continuing on this pastime, these sisters had a competing mentality. We saw that in the boons also that they asked, right? What boon Kadru asked and what boon Vinata asked, right? And generally they had a conflicting mentality, and then they had a fight. So once when the Samudra Manthan pastime happened, we know that many items came out of the ocean, right? We saw Tulasi coming, many ingredients coming, Lakshmi Ji also coming. And then this elephant Airavata came, and also this beautiful horse, Ucheshrava, came. Now, Ucheshrava is a horse that has been used by Indra, right? So this horse was so beautiful that both the sisters, they commented on this horse. Hey, this horse is so wonderful. What is the glory of this horse? So at the time, Kadru claimed that, no, this horse is even though very beautiful and white, but its tail is black. But Vinata said, no, no, no. The horse is white and beautiful, but its tail also is white. And there was a very intense argument between the two sisters. And then they took a bet. So in the bet, what was the condition for the bet was that whoever fails in the bet, they will have to become a slave of the other. So that was the kind of bet that they got into. So in order to win, Kadru played a trick. Of course, she cheated. What did she do? She somehow figured out that the tail of the horse was also white, Ucheshrava, which we all know. If you read the Samantamadan past time, the descriptions of Ucheshrava is given, and you will see Ucheshrava is fully white. So what she did, she somehow indicated to her sons that you go cover the tail of that horse with your bodies so that they look black. So all these serpents, immediately they went and then they covered the tail of the horse and it looked black. And Vinata got cheated and got lost. Right? She lost the match and she became a slave to Kadru. Kadru, misbehaved with her and she put her into a lot of difficulties. She tortured her. And then Vinata suffered like anything. And that's how these two sisters' rivalry became so strong. Okay. Now let's look at what happened next. When many of these sons of Kadru were asked to perform this, a cheap act, what is that act? To cheat Vinata and become victorious. That means to deceive the ant. Sesha and a few other snakes, they said, no, we won't. We will not do this act. So then that is when you will see that Kadru curses some of these snakes, saying that when the pastimes of Parikshit Maharaj, what is the pastime of Parikshit Maharaj? That he will be bitten by a snake in 7 days. So that at the end of the 7th day, it is Takshaka, this flying fiery snake, which come and bites Parikshit. But hearing that, King Janmajaya, what he did, he said, no, 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 this is not acceptable. He performed a Sharpasatra, that means a very big yagya, whereby which all the snakes in the entire creation are drawn into that Yagnakunta. And the Yagnakunta is burning like anything. So slowly all the snakes were drawn into the Yagnakunta, and then they are starting to get burnt and die. This Takshaka was also being drawn into that. But however, I think it is Brahmaji who comes and stops him, saying that no, you can't do these things because all the living entities are given an equal opportunity in this world in order to live and complete their prescribed duties. So you cannot do that. And they stopped the taking. Otherwise, you will see many of these Kadru children would have died in the taking. Right? So that's the curse she gives. But anyway, the curse didn't happen because Agni was stopped. So what happened? There is definitely injustice here, and then there's cruelty also, what Vinata has to go through. So Sesha said that this is not virtuosity. So Sesha, he left the family. And he left the family and he said, I have to do prayashchita for what my mother and my brothers are doing. So he went into severe penances to please Brahmaji. So of course, Brahmaji was pleased by the severe penances performed by Sesha. And the next episode of Sesha will manifest, that we will discuss what happens when Brahmaji comes and gives the benediction. But on the other hand, in parallel, so Garuda, who's supposed to be the most powerful. So Garuda means one who can withstand something very heavy. So Garuda can withstand the entire universe. And that is the power of Garuda. And hence he gets the name Garuda. So he also becomes the Vahana for Lord Vishnu. Okay. So Garuda could not tolerate his mother's suffering, Vinata's suffering. He said, oh, this is what you've done is you've cheated my mother. This is really injustice. So we have to somehow release her mother, and that was his goal. So what he did, he went to Kadru and asked her and pleaded her mercy, saying that, you should release my mother. So Kadru had one condition. What is the condition? Saying that I want the nectar, the Amrit, which is existing in Indraloka, that I want to drink that, and I want to feed all my children also. So if you get me that nectar from Indraloka, then I will release all the children, including not my children. I'll release your mother, Vinata. So that was the deal that they had. And after that, Garuda flew to Indraloka. When Garuda went to Indraloka and asked Indra, so Indradeva said, there's nothing that I can do because the snakes by constitution are very envious and they're also very poisonous and dangerous. If the nectar is given to them, they become very, very powerful and then they become very strong and they could cause devastation to this entire creation. So hence Indra said, I won't give. But however, Garuda pleaded with Indra saying that, no, this is not for any other purpose. This is just to release my mother Vinata from the clutches. So you need to help her. Right? So then Garuda struck a deal with Indra. So what did Indra said? Okay, we'll do a gameplay. So in that gameplay, I will help you, but I will steal the nectar back. Right? So Garuda agreed to that gameplay. And the nectar was given to Garuda. And Garuda came all the way to the Patal Lokas. So in the Patal Lokas, when Kadru met Garuda, seeing the nectar, she was so pleased. And she said, oh, thank you so much. We're going to have this nectar. But however, Garuda says, no, this nectar cannot be had just like that. Some sort of purification needs to be done. Unless you do the purification, you cannot have the nectar. So then what's the purification? So he gives few things to be done. And to start with, you have to also take bath in the rivers and then purify yourself and then come back. While you come back, I'll give you the nectar. So when they went to take bath and come back, a similar game plan that happened in Samudra Manthan pastime. So what happened in Samudra Manthan pastime is Mohini, she said, with her beauty, she first conquered all the asuras. And what she said that, you cannot be behaving childish. You cannot just come to me to take the nectar. Instead, you will stand in two separate lines. And then I will take this nectar and divide it equally to all of you. Then you can consume it. And what she did in that pastime, she just escaped, vanished with the nectar, and the asuras got cheated there. So similarly, another game plan was done here. And Garuda, along with Indra, did the game plan. And while they were just mesmerized, Indra took away the nectar and escaped to Indralok. So that way, Kadru was given what she cheated with Vinata was given the same treatment back to her, and Vinata was released. Right. So this is how Garuda got her mother back, and this pastime between Kadru and Garuda happened. So coming back to this pastime, right? How Vinata got released now. So we'll come back to this continuation of the story about Shesha, on the other hand, performing great austerities. Right? So Shesha left home and he started to perform great austerities. And his austerities were like just living on air and meditating for a long period of time in sacred places, including the Himalayas. So he kept on meditating that it touched the heart of Brahmaji. Completely pure, completely, purified with his intense tapasya, Brahmaji appeared in front of Shesha. Oh, my son, what is that you want? You pleased with your austerities and penances. So Shesha asked two things. The first thing that he asked is, he said that I always want to have my mind under my control by using yogic practice. And I want to be a friend of all the living entities. See, this is against what generally a snake is. The snake is very envious. She's never friendly to living entities. And, she's so much disturbed. even for small situations, he will sneer, like hiss, she will hiss. So that's the first boon he's asking. The second one is asking is that I want to serve my Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Right? So you give me this boon to Brahmaji. Brahmaji was so pleased. He said, I'm very happy with your request. He said, Tathastu. So what Brahmaji gave? Brahmaji gave the boon and gave Sesha a new service. What is that service? That you will descend beneath the Bhumandala and use your great hood, right? And hold the Bhumandala. And Sesha was very pleased, and he was ready to go beneath the Bhumandala to hold the entire Bhumandala on his head. But Sesha asked a question. Okay, Brahmaji, good, I will do this service, but how long should I do this service? So Brahmaji was very intelligent. He said, you will do this service by reciting one pastimes of Lord Krishna. You'll have to continue using your each and every hood, you have to keep on reciting each and every pastime of Krishna. When you completed the pastime of entire Krishna, then you will see it will be called as the end of Brahmaji's day. That means end of Brahmaji day, Pralaya Kala should happen, and the entire material creation, the 14 lokas, has to get collapsed or devastated and go into the Garbha ocean, right? So that was the arrangement that Brahmaji told to Shesha, and Shesha was really agreed to that. And Shesha was given this job, so he went beneath the entire Bhumandala. On his head, he started to hold the entire Bhumandala. So now, who is this Shesha? This Shesha, actually, if you see, he is a Jiva Tattva, right? And as a Jiva Tattva, he's doing his service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, that's the beauty. Whatever service is given to a Jiva Tattva, he has to take it up because that is the need of the hour and do that service for the pleasure of Lord. And Jiva Tattva here, Shesha is called as Shakti Aveshara Avatar. He is not Lord Ananta. He is Shesha, where he is considered to be an expansion of Lord Ananta, who is sleeping on the Garbha ocean, where Garbhodaksha Vishnu is lying on his bed. Right? So, Lord Ananta, who is appearing as a bed of Lord Garbhodaksha Vishnu, you can consider the Shesha as an expansion of him, Shakti Aveshara Avatar. But here, there are two kinds of expansion Ananta does. One, he empowers a living entity like the Shesha here, who is a Jiva Tattva, to perform this wonderful service. Sometimes, there may not be any eligible, credible Jivatmas to do this service. At that time, Lord Ananta expands into another snake and perform the same service that Shesha is doing. Okay, so that's the difference between Shesha and Lord Ananta. Okay, Ananta means unlimited. So here Shesha also is doing unlimited services. Now, in the past times, we have talked about Ananta Deva's expansions and things like that, right? So Lord Ananta, who is Vishnu Tattva, he expands into Balaram in Dwapara along to play pastimes with Krishna. Lord Ananta expands as Lakshmana to perform that service. Lord Ananta also expands as a hood when Supreme Lord Krishna was born and Vasudeva was carrying Krishna from Mathura to Vrindavan. So he was serving Krishna. So that is Lord Ananta. That is not Shesha. This is Sheshanaga is the one who holds the Bhumandala. So there are two aspects, so we should not get confused between Shesha and Ananta. Okay. Now, since he holds the hood on his head for continued existence of this entire, Bhumandala, not to fall down into the Garbha ocean, not to sink into it, he gets the name Sarvaloka. It's not Sara, it is Sarvaloka. Sarvaloka Durantara. Right? So, we also talked about if there's no credible Jivatma, then Lord Ananta will expand and perform the service. Okay. So, this is the position of Lord Shesha. Okay. Now, Shesha is also called Tamasi, right? He is the source of Rudra, the destroyer. So now let's see what is it that's happening there. Now, all of us have a particular prescribed duty after our creation. What's the prescribed duty? Jivera Swarupaya Krishna Nitya Dasa. Right? So that's our duty. What does that duty means? We are born here, or we were made to be born in this world by the mercy of Lord Vishnu and by the secondary mercy of Lord Brahmaji, who is giving us a suitable body and opportunity to practice devotion. But we are, instead of practicing pure devotion, we are doing all unwanted things in this world, right? So when we don't practice bhakti seriously and doing all materialistic activities in the mood of enjoyment and forgetfulness of the Lord, then we lose the chance to go back to Godhead. But however, Ananta is very merciful. What does he do? He again and again gives, okay, maybe in this birth you are not able to practice, but in the next birth you will practice. So like that, like that, Shesha is thinking that, okay, you will do. So he is patiently waiting and waiting and waiting, births after births of each one of us, so that we can practice, attain divine qualities, and go back home, back to Godhead. Right? So that's the greatest service that Shesha is doing. But however, we all know that Jiva misuses his opportunities, right? And what's the first thing that he does? He does two things in this material world. One, he exploits this material world, and he also enjoys this material world, right? An example of exploitation is, okay, whatever is material nature, resources are there. For example, metals are there, fossil fuel is there, so granite is there, so many things are there, unlimited things are there. We just exploit them and use it for our enjoyment. So that's not the real purpose, right? These resources are used to enhance our bhakti in order to serve the Lord. But that's a misuse that we're doing, right? So when we misuse our great human opportunities. So for example, if you see, Krishna is the lover of Brahmanas and the cows. But what we are doing, we are killing all those cows, right? We are killing cow for sense gratification. So you can see our cruel acts are definitely disturbing Sesha. So what he does, Lord Shankar, he's also called Shankarshana. So Shankarshana becomes very angry and he generates, so between the two eyes of his hood, right, he generates this great fire to destroy this creation. So when he gets angry, you know, a Rudra, 11 Rudras who have third eye, right? These 11 Rudras have third eye. So we saw that in this image also. So for example, you see here, this is the Rudra, right, on the right hand side. So these are the 11 Rudras, and all of them have third eyes, right? So they are so powerful, and what they do, they come with a trident, Trishul, right? You must have heard that word Rudra Thandavam, right? So they dance and then they burn all the lokas. So Yamaloka, the lower planetary system, starting from Patal Loka to Atala Vitala, then Bhuloka, Bhuvar, Suvar. So up to Swargaloka, everything gets burnt with the great fire that comes through these 11 Rudras. But this fire is so intense that it crosses the Swargaloka, and then the heat of that fire reaches even Maharloka, because Maharloka is upper planetary systems, which are above them. And people in this world, in the Maharloka, they are not able to tolerate the heat. They also move up to Janaloka, then they move to Tapaloka, and finally, unable to bear that heat, they all move to Brahmaloka. So Brahmaji, seeing all these things, he sees that this great fire is just destroying the entire gross elements, right? The 5 gross elements. So then Brahmaji realizes, oh, now it's time that my day is over. That means Pralaya Kala has to happen. So Brahmaji, with all the living entities who have not got liberated, that means they're still in different forms, in different life forms, and continue to be reborn again and again in these 14 planetary system. So Brahmaji, along with those living entities, he enters the navel of Garbhodakshaya, Vishnu, and he resides there. Right? So how long he resides there? He resides for one full night, which is 1000 Chaturvigas, or which is 1 kalpa. So Brahma's day is 1 kalpa, Brahma's night is 1 kalpa. And 1 kalpa is 1000 Chaturvigas. Right? So 1000 Chaturvigas contains 14 manvantras, and 14 into 71 or 71 and change will give you 1000. That means every 71 manvantara, manus, okay, the manvantara changes, right? So that's how Lord Brahmaji enters with the subtle body into Lord Vishnu, right? The same thing I have written here. The fire is now spreading higher and higher top of planetary system, and Brahmaji thinks the day is over. Okay. After the whole night, Brahmaji spends along with those living entities. What living entities? All the living entities from Patala Lokas up to Brahma Loka, who has not got liberated, they are in the Garbha ocean, Garbha of Garbhodaksha, Vishnu. So then, at the end of the day, when the next day begins, again, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu manifests this lotus flower, and Lord Brahmaji is manifested, and Brahmaji has been once again taught the Visarga aspects of knowledge, the Veda Shastras, and Brahmaji once again takes all the living entities who are there in the Garbha of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu according to their consciousness, state of consciousness. That means, are they in tamasic consciousness, are they in rajo consciousness, or in sattvic consciousness? He will place them in different planetary positions, and according to the karmic reactions, they are awarded a suitable body. The body could be an animal body, or a plant body, or a human body. And within these this bodies also, some bodies may possess higher intelligence because they have done some aspects of devotion or not, or lower intelligence according to whatever practices that they've done. And once again, the aspects of creation begins, right? So hence, this act of destruction is conducted by Shesha. He's also called Tamasi, right? So if you look at this sloka 25.2, 25.3, 13, I'll just share this 25.13. Where is 25.13? So you look at the sloka 25.13, it says, Mule rasaiha stita atmatantru yo leelaya shamam stitaya bibarti. That means this is clearly telling us that there is no end to the great glorious qualities of that powerful Lord Anantadev. Indeed, his prowess is unlimited. Though self-sufficient, he himself is the support of everything. He resides beneath the lower planetary system and easily sustains the entire universe, right? So from this we can understand that the position where, he is residing, and then he is holding this entire universe above his hood. Okay. Now, he is also called Sarvaloka Durantara because he is holding all of them on his hood. Okay. Now, what happened when Shesha was continuously speaking on the glories of Lord, which is nothing but Srimad Bhagavatam. The four Kumaras, right, they got very much attracted. The four Kumaras are in a Vaikuntha Loka, which is above the 14 planetary system, above Brahma Loka. Above Brahma Loka, there is one Vaikuntha Loka. In that Vaikuntha Loka, these four Kumaras are existing. And then when they heard about Shesha reciting the pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Srimad Bhagavatam of Krishna, so they descended. They descended down to the place below Patal Lokas, and they want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And hence you can see Srimad Bhagavatam was once again spoken to the four Kumaras, and that, so four Kumaras, if you look at it, they are more yogic practices and Ashtanga yoga and things like that. But because of Sesha speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Kumara Sampradaya also began. And Kumar Sampradaya also is considered to be one of the bona fide Sampradaya in order to understand Krishna and reach home back to Godhead. Just like how we have Brahma Madhava, how we have Sri, Rudra, Kumara. So this is also another bona fide method. So that's all for the four Kumaras here, Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, this four Kumaras, we always have seen that Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken as a lineage success. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken to Kumaras, then they speak that to Sanjana Rishi. Then from Sanjana Rishi, it came to Parasara Muni. From Parasara Muni, it came to Maitreya Muni. right? So this conversation between Parasara Muni and Maitreya Muni is what is recorded as Vishnu Purana, right? So in one context, you can understand that Vishnu Purana is also Srimad Bhagavatam, but more focused around Canto 3 and 4. So now when Vidura, who got chastised in Hastinapur uh, by the Kauravas, especially Duryodhana, so he went on, spiritual yatra. So in the spiritual yatra, he first meets in Prabhasha Kshetra. Whom does he meet in Prabhasha Kshetra? Is Krishna's cousin, Uddhava. So when he meets Uddhava, Uddhava says that, oh Vidra, though I can teach you about the pastimes or whatever instruction, Uddhava Gita that was given to me, I can teach you, but I have two challenges. One, I'm on my mission to go to Badrikashrama because that was the mission I'm given by the Lord. I have to go teach Srimad Bhagavatam to the sages because Lord Krishna could not play his pastimes or visit Badrikashrama during his 125 years present year. That means I don't have time. Secondly, even if I have time, I cannot spend time with you because you are very elderly, you're fatherly figure. How can I speak or give guidance and things like that to someone who's very elderly and fatherly? So it's better that you hear from someone who is a little bit more elderly and senior. That is better for you. So hence he tells that when Krishna spoke this Uddhava Gita, entire pastimes and detail to me, Maitreya Rishi also heard that. So he tells that to Vidura. So that means we have Maitreya Rishi hearing directly from the Lord, but also he heard this from Parasara Muni, which is Vishnu Purana. So hence Vidura goes and meets Maitreya Rishi, and the conversation between Maitreya Rishi and Vidura is what is recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam that you can see in Canto 3 and Canto 4. Of course, there are some chapters in Canto 5 also. So in totally, the conversation between these two personalities results in about 22 chapters for us to understand, right? So this is how we can understand how Srimad Bhagavatam again manifested, and that we are reading it today, right? So Srila Prabhupada was very intelligent that he captured all these things so wonderfully, and then he gave us Srimad Bhagavatam, where he has commentaries from different acharyas under different circumstance situations spoken. If I'm correct, about 6 commentaries that he took from various acharyas. He combined them and then he gave us in his purports in that Srimad Bhagavatam that we are reading today. So you can see the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. You can see why Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Purana. And you can see why one should keep Srimad Bhagavatam close to his heart and make that as his life to understand more and more deeper pastimes and make bhakti as the goal of one's life. And when we do these things, we make our life successful, right? So this is what we learn from the entire pastimes of this creation, this material creation, and the position of Lord Sesha, the holder of earth, and what are his qualities and what are his beauty, and how we should practice devotion. So a Sesha also indicates our false ego, right? That means, what does it mean is, he is the one who can chastise our false ego. So that means he is the giver of false ego, he is also the remover of false ego. How is he giver of false ego? If we do not want to practice bhakti, we want to forget Krishna, then Shesha enhances our false ego that we think, oh, I am this body, I identify with this body, and I'm an enjoyer, I'm a controller, and then forgetfulness of Krishna. That's what it happens, right? But once he practices bhakti, one who wants to go to Krishna, one who wants to go and serve him and purify in his life, then the same Shesha helps us to understanding the drawbacks of false ego and makes that into true ego. So that way you see, Shesha plays a great role in our practice of devotion. Okay, so this devotion will help us to complete the journey of this human form of life in this very birth, go back home back to Godhead. Okay. So that's what I could give you as a snapshot in understanding the 5th chapter, the 25th chapter in 5th canto. In fact, I did not just focus on 2 to 5. I gave the entire 25th chapter so that you can understand in a snapshot. Okay. So I will pause here and we can take some questions so we can See how much we can help explain. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you very much for very beautifully walking through us with visual representation of the glories of Lord Adanta Shesha. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Apologies, devotees, for miscommunicating the sloka number, but it's always a pleasure to hear slokas. Again, I think Prabhuji gave a completely different perspective on these three slokas. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. I request the devotees to share their questions or comments or reflections, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Bhumandala includes, Patala Lokandal, up to that Bhumandala you have mentioned, no, Prabhu. Then
Yeah.
Bharata Varsha, from where it starts, Prabhu?
So, Prabhu, now Bharatavarsha is above these layers of the 7 planets. Okay. I need a different picture. Let me see if I have a different picture to explain you. Okay, so let's see if I can get a different picture on Google. Because if I don't show the picture, I can't explain you.
Yeah.
Bharatavarsha image. Oh, no, it's giving something else. Google is giving something else. So I'll ask Jambudipa. Jambu. Okay, let's see if I can make you understand. So, okay. Where is it? So let me see if I can get this picture on. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just create another page. Next slide. Let's see if we can take this to make it understand. Okay. So Prabhu, you see this picture? You're clear on this picture, no? This is Mount
Yes.
Meru.
Yes.
This is Mount Meru.
Yeah.
Now below this is this Bhumandala here. Okay. Now you see this picture. This is Mount Meru. And below this, we talked about this flat surface, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So you can see here, these are different varshas. Okay. Our Bharata varshas here. Can you see my
Yes,
focus?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So this is Bharata varsha. So if you go back to here, beneath this, so somewhere here on top, so somewhere here will be Bharata varsha. Now you're able to understand? See here? This is below this. This is the circle. Okay. And you have to remember, see, when King Priyavarta, he took his chariot, he went around in his chariot to give sunlight to his kingdom because he did not want the darkness, the night at all. His chariot made 7 depression. That means 7 seas were formed, 7 islands were formed. Okay. So this Jambudipa, is the center island. After this, there were 6 oceans and 7 islands. Okay. So this is the first concentric circle. This is Jambudipa. In Jambudipa, the southernmost, the bottom, the southernmost, this portion is called Bharatavarsha. Okay. So now you come back here. This Bhumandala existing completely is including all the 7 circles, 7 circles. So this portion here, you see this portion? Can you see my cursor moving? This is Jambudipa. In Jambudipa, in the top surface, in the southern portion, that means here, somewhere is Bharatavarsha.
So then Bharatakanda?
So Bharatakanda is one of the division in Bharatavarsha. So for example, India is consists of 24 states of what. Karnataka is one state in India, correct? So like that, I'll go back to this picture. So for example, this Bharatavarsha is divided into 9 portions. Each portion is called Khanda. So in that, the last portion, that means the edge here.
Mm.
This is called the ninth Khanda, which is called Bharata Khanda, and that is where this earth is there.
Mm.
Okay, Prabhu, is it clear?
Okay, Prabhu. So Bhumandala consists of even lower planets. Bharatkhanda is only the middle planet.
No. Bhumandala consists of Swargaloka, Bhurloka, Bhuloka, then Patalokas.
Patala.
Consist of all. Okay.
Oh.
Now we are talking about Bhumandala, which is the center portion here.
Mm.
See, higher portions are where you will find the Swargaloka and things like. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking only the Bhumandala here, this plate.
Correct, Prabhu.
This plate is divided into 9 divisions. In 9 divisions, each division is called a Varsha. In that, one Varsha is called Bharata Varsha here. The southernmost division. In that southernmost division, 9 divisions are again made, that each division is called Khanda, and that's called Bharata Khanda. In that Bharata Khanda is the edge here, and that is the earth.
Yeah. Got it.
This surface is nothing but this surface here. Can you see this one, the small surface here? This is part of Jambudvipa. Jambudvipa is the center portion here. And then the second circle, second concentric circle, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, like that will come. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions, Prabhuji?
No, Prabhu. You said that lotus leaf, earth represents the lotus leaf, right? And then
Bhumandala refers to the lotus leaf.
Bhumandala, the universe.
No. Only the Bhumandala. The Bhumandala consists of 3 things, Mataji. It consists of Attala, Vitala, Sutala, Tavatala, Patala, then hellish planets. Then above that it contains Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Suti. That is the Bhumandala. Okay.
Okay.
And that is only with respect to the planetary system that we are talking. Above that, there are others, other higher planetary system. Okay.
So the lotus flower, actually, when we see from Garbhodaka side, the stem comes and the lotus flower comes.
So that lotus flower is Brahmaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Mahaloka. That is the 4 divisions of the lotus flower. So what happened when Brahmaji was born, when he was told to do creation, he cut the lotus flower into 4 parts and made into those 4 divisions. Then he cut the stem and he made the stem and the leaf and he made into other divisions. Like that he made.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavad Pranams. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Can you just tell a little bit about Pitruloka, Prabhu?
So this is Pitruloka is here. Pitruloka is part of the hellish planets. Okay. Now, this is what I knew, but yesterday in cosmology class, Prabhuji clarified there are 2 Pitrulokas. There's one Pitruloka here that is part of Yamaloka, and there's another Pitruloka which is part of Swargaloka. Okay. So what happens in the Swargaloka, the residents of Swargaloka, when they leave their body, they also go into that Pitruloka. So those are also called Pitrus. And here, there's another Pitruloka where people after committing sins and things like that, when they complete their punishment, they also stay in this Pitruloka. That means there are 2 kinds of Pitruloka, right? So we do not know where our ancestors go. So that's why he was recommending to perform Shraddh to the Pitrus, but not worship the Pitrus. Okay?
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranams.
Any other questions, thoughts?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for this wonderful representation with the pictorial graphical explanation, Prabhu. Prabhu, I just wanted to understand, Prabhu. The 2 sisters were fighting, right? They're just showing their anger for each.
And Vinata.
Yeah, Kratu and Vinata. And what, as a husband, Kashyap Muni was doing, and he never interfered here, and I didn't see any kind of. Yes, sir.
Prabhu, so this is how it is like. For example, when Indra gets obnoxious and then he misbehaves with the Vrajavasis, right? What did he misbehave? What is the crime of Vrajavasi? Nothing. They didn't do any crime. They were every year offering great yajna and sacrifices for Indra, or offerings, I would say. When Krishna intercepted, they said, okay, Krishna is giving us greater knowledge and reference from Shastra that there is no Indra puja or Indra worship. So let us worship Govardhan according to his desire. So now all the Vrajavasis, they went to worship Govardhan as per instructions of Krishna. Now, that is not any crime. They just stopped worship, then they start worship here. But Indra got offended, right? Indra got offended for no reason, and he really tortured them. How much of rain, how much of thunders. In fact, he sent the clouds, which are used for inundation at the time of devastation, and to flood the Vrindavan. And during the entire time, what is Krishna doing? Krishna did not go and stop Indra. Krishna did not go and teach Indra what is Srimad Bhagavatam and things like that. Nothing. He just kept quiet. 7 days, torrential rains. Krishna kept quiet. But by Krishna keeping quiet, one is he enhanced the pastime. That means the pastime has to happen. Only when the pastime happens, the glories of Govardhan and the glories of the Raslila that happens beneath the Govardhan can manifest, and that is the nectar for Paritranaya Sadhana. That is the nectar for devotees, right? On the other hand, he's also teaching Indra that your strength is nothing. You're just, what do you say, filled with false ego, and that's why you're misbehaving. So he teaches both at the same time. So similarly, you see, Kashyap Muni, the nectarian pastime has to happen. And in the pastime, 2 great things happened. One, the glory of Garuda became manifested, and the glory of Shesha got manifested. If this pastime did not happen, Shesha would have not gone and perform austerities to please Brahmaji, and then he gets this position to hold a Bhumandala, and then recite Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, Srimad Bhagavatam won't come, right? So sometimes a lot of these pastimes are done, a lot of these actions are done in order a greater outcome to come. Similarly, when Diti came and felt very lusty, you think her husband, being a great Muni and Rishi, cannot just cure her lust? No. The manifestation or the birth of Prahlad Maharaj is more important than these small things, right? So hence, you see, all these things become cause for a great personality or a great pastime to manifest, right? So that's how we have to see. I hope I was able to give some thought.
Thank you very much, bro. Thank you. Yes, got this point.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay, are we good? If there's no other question, we can stop here.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful class. We will end today's session with the Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्ण।
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Okay, thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, सबको दंडवत प्रणाम।
Dhanush pranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Dhanush pranam. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
Dhanush pranam. Dhanush pranam.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Dhanush
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु। हरे कृष्णा।
pranam. Hare Krishna. Okay, I'm leaving the class. Hare Krishna.